um, tell us how work has been. Before I even start, sorry, my name is Queenette Inilama, and I'll be your moderator for this evening. So if you had an amazing time at work today, just use the emoji in the comment section and tell us how your day was before we would introduce our facilitator for today. I'm sure we know her, but if you had an amazing time at work today, just put an emoji in the comment section and tell us how your day was. Mine has been pretty much exciting. It started off slow, but then again, I had people come around and it made me feel really happy. I had old friends come around and I was really excited. So my day has been good. So tell us how your day has been in the comment section just before we introduce our facilitator for today. On vacation, enjoying myself. I wish I was with you right now. On vacation, I wish I was on vacation. But I would say today is a mini vacation for me. My day is going well. I am grateful. Joyce is amazing. We have about 10 people on the call, and we have just few people in the comment section. If you don't mind, you could go to the group and tell them we're live. Just prompt them and let them come and join us. I'm going to go to the group now and let people know that we're here, we're live. All right. I'm going to introduce our facilitator for today. Her name is, please, if your mic is on, could you please mute? We have Franca Johnson. Please, could you mute your mic, please?
Hello, what did you say?
Franca Johnson, please, could you mute your mic, please?
Okay.
There's a lot of noise and interference at the background,
Okay.
please.
Let me
Thank
do that.
you.
Let me do.
Thank you. You're welcome. Thank you.
Yeah.
All right, our facilitator for today, I'll be reading her profile. Her name is Labari Upong, known as the EQ Whisperer, speaker, EQ life coach, and an educational consultant and a farmer. Labari Upong is a certified emotional intelligence expert, a life coach known for her transformative approach to helping clients unlock their full potentials and perform optimally. Her unique coaching style combines a cutting-edge technique with humanistic brain-based methodology to empower individuals to live, overcome limiting beliefs, cultivate self-awareness, and develop core EQ competencies. Thrive, build confidence, step outside comfort zones, and optimize performance. They achieve academic excellence, personal and professional success. As the managing director of Insight Edge Limited, Labari has guided over 2,000 students and families in educational consultancy, scholarship management, and international student placement. She also empowers educators through training programs designed to integrate social and emotional learning into classrooms, fostering resilience, problem-solving skills, and stronger interpersonal connection. A seasoned speaker and facilitator, Library designs and delivers transformational workshops on emotional intelligence, mindset shift, and resilience. Her goal is to help individuals and organizations move from good to great while aligning her work with the Sustainable Developmental Goals, SDG 3, good health and well-being, and SDG 4, which is quality education. With a background in law and over 2 decades of experience in sectors such as international business development and education, Labari blends her diverse expertise to deliver impactful solutions based in Lagos and her farm in Akwa Ibom. She continues to inspire through her passion for emotional intelligence and lifelong learning. Such an amazing profile. Welcome, Coach Labari Upong. Welcome. It's good to have you here with us. Welcome. The
Thank
floor
you.
is yours. I'm sure you teach us something about farming very soon, very, very soon, because I want to be a farmer. I'm
Excellent.
not sure that I have the grit for it, but I think I want to learn. It's good to have you here, then.
Thank you. Thank you, Coach Queenette. Thank you. So great to be here again with the EQ empowered women. In fact, every woman here, everybody here is EQ empowered because you made a choice to be here today. Something appealed to you emotionally. Either because you know me or because you want to learn more, it appealed to your emotion. And so you're here, and so you're EQ empowered. So thank you all for being here. Thank you for um, sharing in the chat room how your day has been. And I'm just so happy to see so many friends and familiar faces here. My day has been awesome, awesome. Imagine a day when you have a 1 hour, 30 minutes presentation to make at 8:30 a.m. and you're called and told, no, your presentation is at 1:45 p.m. You get there, presentation starts at 2:30 p.m. and you're told you have 45 minutes. And, that's when habits or expertise then steps in and you manage to deliver in those 45 minutes and people are happy. So that just made my day even greater. So my day has really been awesome. I've spent it with lecturers, facilitating their EQ competencies. And about the farm, yes, I love nature. I love green. I love anything that is green. And so it will be easy for you. Let me share my screen, please. It will be easy for you to see that that is who I am. Can you all see my screen? Can anybody tell me if you can see my screen?
Yes, you can.
Okay, great. Yes, so I love gardening. I love farming. I love nature. So I'm going to start with this metaphor of a garden, right? And as you all know, our topic for today is about mindfulness and how that would help us daily to sharpen our focus. So imagine a garden. These flowers you're seeing here didn't just prop up. They are seeds that were sown. The green grass, the lawn you're seeing behind that looks so beautiful. If you go closer, you're going to see that there are weeds there. And then these seeds are our thoughts, what we think. The weeds are things that happen to us in life, distractions, like I had today with my presentation. I had to just discard my 1.5 hour presentation and talk through what I know. If I had focused on the fact that they had changed my time and they had cut short my time, I would have been focusing on the weed. So every gardener, just like everyone, we have our habits and our emotions when they come on us. That's the rain that feeds our garden. So is the sun, because the garden needs sunlight, it needs water, and it needs nutrients. But however, the weeds are there, and the weeds are the distraction. So as a gardener, you would decide, what am I going to focus on? And being mindful simply means that you decide what you are going to focus on. You decide what you are going to feed. You know the saying that the grass is always greener on the other side, but it's only greener because the grass is fed and well watered, right? So I'd like everybody just be honest in the chat room. I'm more of a facilitator than a trainer. So I ask a lot of questions and I want you to go along with me. In the chat room, tell me, beyond this presentation, where else is your mind now? Just put it in the chat room and I'll join you. Let me chat. So I know you're here. Your screen is not on, but just be honest. Where else is your mind? Dinner. Yes, Umfon is thinking about dinner and she just got back from church. Asagba is with me completely. Oh, my health concerns. Yes. Traffic going back home, attracting money. That's a good place to be. If we say what you feed, what you focus on grows, then attracting money should be a good word. But you see how we can be in more than one place at the same time. It's not about just being there physically, but where our mind is, where our thoughts is. Lola, I thought you said you're on holiday, but you're going back to continue your reading for your exams. Nice. Reading during holidays. That must be very nice. Now, when it comes to mindfulness, it means being present, fully present. Present with your thought, present with your mind, present with your emotions, present with what is going on with your body, present with your environment, present with who you are with, present with the task you're working on. That is what mindfulness means, right? And the greatest gift you can give anyone or even any task is your full attention. We're going to see that there's always a cost for missing a moment. There's this book, The Power of Now. I think it's Eckhart Tolle. I can't really remember the author, but we read it in one of our books. And it's so powerful. and helps you to see the power of now. Because right now, every moment with somebody or with a task, there is a message there. There is a learning there. There is growth there now. If you're not in the power of now, if you're not harnessing that power, you're going to be missing out on a lot of things. Let me share story of a client I had. She called me one day and was really distraught because her daughter had chosen to live with her boyfriend. She was so distraught. Everything I did to try and calm her down, talk, didn't work. I had to do some exercises with her, which helped her to calm down, and maybe we can do that here. But in questioning her, I asked where she thought she had missed a message from her daughter about where the relationship was going to and leading to the decision to go and live with her boyfriend. You know, we're Africans. Yeah, right. We don't do that. But yeah, right. We'll continue to sometimes live in our shadows of purity. And after a few questions, she then thought about times her daughter had told her that her guardian wasn't very nice to her. But she said, she thought to herself, how would she not be nice to you? She's your father's sister. She brought you up. She grew up in my house. So she surely will be paying back the good I did to her. And the daughter brought this up several times, but she always pushed it aside. She was never present to hear what was behind what seemed like a Gen Z complaining about being told to wash plate or do chores. She was never present, and so she missed a lot of the communication. She made the mistake of thinking that communication comes from words, but communication comes from you being able to read the body language of who you're speaking to when you're present, being able to listen to the tone to understand the emotions behind the words. Only 7% of our words actually carry communication. So for that, your child or your husband or your spouse or your staff that has said something once, twice, and you listen to it, you hear them, but you don't look at them. You don't give them your full attention. I would like you to think of what you may be missing in that kind of situation. I would like everybody to take a deep breath in. Let me just try and mute some people. Okay, yes, everybody's muted now. If you're with me here, please take a deep breath in. And if you know how we take a deep breath, it's not from your chest, it's from your tummy, right? Your tummy expands when you're breathing in, and it contrasts when you're breathing out. So take a deep breath in. And then breathe out. If you can, keep a soft focus or close your eyes. Most of us here are women, I'd like to believe. So if you close your eyes, I'd like you to think of your 10-year-old self, your 12-year-old self. Think of a moment where she wasn't heard. where she tried to say things in different ways. She tried to verbalize it. She tried to act out, but she was misunderstood. She tried to confide in somebody, but she was too afraid. Think of if you could give her your full attention now. Imagine yourself now as the adult and the mother conversing with that 10, 12, 13-year-old. And if you could give her, if you had given her your full attention then, this is still you, not another person. What would be different? You can open your eyes and write in the chat room, what would be different? I can tell you mine. I'll put it in the chat room. And mine is the child will be more confident. The child that I was. If she had received the attention she needed at that time. If she had been given full attention. Any other thoughts? Anyone else did the exercise? So this is not about me talking because I've made the assumption that I'm talking to women who are EQ empowered in one way or the other and who understand or know what mindfulness is. And so we're just doing some mindfulness practice. Yes, Queenette, thanks for sharing the name of the book, The Power of Now by Eckhart Tolle. It's an amazing book, very impactful if you can read it. Anybody want to share? I saw somebody do the exercise because her video is on. Okay, if nobody is sharing, let's move on. But still, back to another question. How often do you feel mentally scattered? You can just unmute and mention it, or you can type in the chat room. How often? Is it daily? Boulder, Queenette, thank you. Asaba, my question was, if you had given that young girl the attention, the full presence that she needed, what would change for her? I wrote confident, Queenette wrote Boulder. Mfon says occasionally. Anyone else? Weekly, yes. For me, mine is occasionally. It happens, to us. I think it happens to everybody at one point or the other. The issue is the frequency which it happens and what you do when it happens. I mean, we're all human beings striving for excellence, not perfection. And some people have actually achieved that state of Zen, but some of us are still on the journey. So it happens occasionally that my mind will feel scattered. So what do I do when my mind feels scattered? When it's all over the place? But before I go into that, which will take us into our practice, I would like to share some of the mindfulness attitudes we should have. One, in every situation is patience and trying not to judge the situation as good or bad, but look at it patiently and with curiosity. Because if you're curious, you will be open to see what will play out there. There's this story about, I can't remember where I heard that story, and I don't know if it's fictional, about a man whose son found some wild horses and brought them into the farm. And his neighbors said, "Oh, you're so lucky. You found some horses." And the man said, "Well, I don't know if it's luck or if it's good or bad. Time will tell." His son was then riding the horse and fell down and broke his leg. And the neighbor again said, "Oh, these horses are so bad. They broke your son's leg." And the man said, "I don't know if it's good or bad, but time will tell." Then in that town or country, they they made it compulsory for all young men to go to war. But because the son's leg was broken, he couldn't go to war. So at the beginning of the story, it seemed the situation was bad. But as it progressed, as it opened up, there was good that came out of it, even though it seemed bad. And so that's why we need a mindfulness attitude is one of patience. I know they say now, the patient dog gets no bone or is a lazy person. So patience does not mean you're not doing anything, but you're keeping yourself safe. You're protecting what is important, but you're not forcing and striving and pushing and fighting, and in a struggle. Ideally, you should move through life with ease and grace. It doesn't mean that there are no struggles or things like that, but also learning to trust the process instead of jumping out at the first sign of a challenge or strife. Learning to accept what is and live in what is. Acceptance is being content and letting go of what no longer serves you. And all that can come from, I'll go quickly here, I'll still go back, from being self-aware, from knowing yourself, knowing your emotions. And I'll use this 6 seconds model that starts with, well, it can start from anywhere. That's why it's a circle. But today I'd like to start with knowing yourself, recognizing your patterns, recognizing what you like, what you don't like, what your strengths are, what your weaknesses are, and the patterns that consistently show in your life, be it in your work or in your relationship, and being able to name the emotions that you go through regularly. Name them without judging them. Whether it's joy, sadness, happiness, trust, anxiety, excitement, anticipation, whatever the emotions are that you go through, being able to name them. I'll go back up. So that's, I believe, is the first part of being mindful, knowing yourself. So in every situation, you know where your mind is and where you want it to be. And that should be in the present moment at that time. So we have a lot of zoning out at events like this. A lot of people will go even for physical events, physical seminars that or webinars or whatever that should be for self-development, or they're supposed to learn, and they're zoned out, or they're somewhere else, or they're in the office. And you wonder, who are you deceiving? If you're just ticking a box, why are you there? Why do you feel the need to do that rather than be your true self and say, I don't want to be here? You do yourself a disservice because your body and your mind are going to be at cross purposes, and it affects your effectiveness. These days, we have so many distractions. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. In our time when we had only the television to occupy us, we could only distract ourselves through physical play. I was in my friend's office for about 30 minutes and she kept talking to me, but she was on the computer. So I thought, okay, she's busy. Let me answer some emails. And then when she's less busy, she will attend to me. After 30 minutes, she stopped and said, oh, sorry about that. Yes, what were we talking about? I said, oh, what were you doing? And she said she was playing games. Imagine that. That distraction is just all over the place now. Be it games, be it movies, Netflix and chill, whatever it is. There's just so many distractions now. Thinking about the past, that is a huge distraction. Thinking about what happened yesterday. If you're not thinking about it to use it to better today, but if you're thinking about it to judge what you didn't do, what right, what you did wrong, and to beat yourself up, it's an exercise in futility. So mindfulness, it's not easy. And it's not something you can just say, I'm going to be mindful all day. I assure you, it's like when you say, I'm going to fast. That's when the smell of let me see which one triggers me a lot. Very ripe fried dodo, or fried meat, or fried stew. That's when you perceive it all over and you start asking yourself, why did I decide to fast today? I don't know if that happens to anybody, but it happens to me. So thinking of being mindful and emptying your mind out and being present per second, it's not an easy thing. It's something that is built with practice. It's like a muscle. And you don't go to the gym once in a month and build muscle. You have to discipline yourself and you have to be consistent to build that muscle. And that's the same thing that happens with developing the skill of being mindful. And there's no quick fix about it because you're rewiring your brain. In a busy world, our brain neurons are just going left, right, and center. Imagine you're driving on the highway. I have this Chinese car. And the Chinese did not think of Nigerian traffic when they created the car. So if a car comes too close, it has alarm going off. So every time I'm in traffic, I just keep hearing boop, 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 boop. So much alarm. How can I remain mindful in that situation? So it's something you need to practice and keep practicing, right? Except you live in I don't know, up in a mountain somewhere where there are no distractions, no food, no television, not many people, it's going to be difficult to um, be wholly mindful, right? But with continuous practice, you can rewire your brain to be mindful. And we'll practice some of that. And it's not about emptying the mind. No. Your mind, yes, it can be empty, but for me, even when I empty my mind, I fill it up with my breath. I'm focused on something. It's not totally blank. So I will be focused on something that would ensure that I put away all other thoughts. So it's not about emptying your mind, but it's about understanding hearing, listening, seeing the nature of the thoughts that are coming to you and how you would use those thoughts. If they are serving you, you keep them. If they're not serving you, what then do you do with them? Being mindful is about observing those thoughts without engaging with them, without getting entangled with them, but just observe them and get the meaning out of those thoughts for that moment. Being mindful is not escaping where you are, and it's about living in the present. I think I've said a lot of this. Right now, I'd mentioned this, our attention is way under attack with so many things. And I would like to ask in the chat room, what steals your attention most? Of course, there's doom scrolling. That happens to all of us. I've put a timer on my phone. So I have 1 hour of social media. Maybe that's why I haven't been posting a lot, because I have only 1 hour of social media. Sometimes I extend it because it gives me the option. So I extend it. But you know, one other thing that steals my attention is the notifications. While I'm here, my phone is there. I can hear the notifications come up. But I have to, of course, focus on what I'm doing now. It's easy because you're looking at me. But imagine if and the notification comes up in the EQ Empowered Women, somebody has put in a post, I'll quickly look, what's that? So our attention it's being stolen and it's under attack. So we need to be proactive about this. So, and are you watering every day? I know a lot of people have said they are happy, they had a good day. So I think I would skip this. Now, let me tell you what's not been. I just liked that little post by the side about mindful and mindful. You see the parts where the mind is full, the battery is low. But where the part is mindful, the battery is full. That means you're constantly charged. Now, when you're being mindful, it means you're able to keep stress away. And then the prefrontal cortex, which is where we get our executive decision making, where we analyze situations and we're able to take a decision on whether to move forward or what to do. We don't get controlled by what is happening. Instead, we make a decision for ourselves. We seek to respond to situations rather than react. So we're in control of our thoughts, our emotions. That's when you're not stressed, right? And that's when you're mindful. But if you have so much going on, you're thinking of all kinds of things. You're in your child's school for open day, and the teacher is talking to you, but you're thinking of, oh, I just heard the price of tomato has gone up by 50,000 naira. How am I going to manage this money I have? Oh, and I need to go and see the doctor. You're stressed, and it's going to show up. And in that situation, you have weaker control of your thoughts because they are just going to be going everywhere, and of your emotions. And that makes you react to situation rather than respond. Respond by focusing on what you want or what you need, right? I always like this quotation by Viktor Franklin. He was a Holocaust victim that he saved himself by being, I think, in a truck with a lot of dead bodies. and after that, he wrote a book. And one of the things he said in that book was that he realized that nothing can kill the human spirit. But this is quotation says between stimulus, when something happens to you, and response, when you respond to whatever happened, there's a space. That space is when you're being mindful. And it's within that space that you can take appropriate decision. I've forgotten the name of his book, but it's also a good book. So let's practice mindfulness. In emotional intelligence, when I was talking about the prefrontal cortex, right, the front of our brain, if you're stressed or if something happens, if there's a stimulus, a situation, science has shown that if you take a pause for 6 seconds, I think Dr. Inahoro is here. His company is called Pause Factory, and that's after the pause that science has discovered that if you take a pause, because when those emotions come to you from the stimulus or whatever situation is going on, there's actually a chemical change or chemical released in your body. So if you don't take that pause, you're going to move with the chemical. For example, somebody trips you off and you almost fall. Meanwhile, you're all made up, all decked out, ready to go and deliver that powerful presentation. Instantly, you may get upset, you may get angry. Because why was something placed where it shouldn't be? Why was somebody sitting carelessly? Didn't they see you coming? But if you're able to pause for 6 seconds only, that's like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. If you're only able to pause for that time, those chemicals will dissipate, and then you can then take appropriate decision. So I'd like you to remember that a pause or a stop. So even when I enter somewhere, like when I entered my presentation room, the first thing I did was I entered and I stopped. I looked around the room, observed what was going on, how people were. I was observing everybody, looking at, were they feeling tired? Were they feeling energized? Were they feeling engaged? Or were they feeling bored? They didn't notice me. And then what I noticed was that they were feeling bored. They were feeling tired. And I asked why, and they said they had just finished lunch. So what would I do if they're feeling that way? I can't go straight into my presentation. I'll have people sleeping. So I got them to get up, and we did an exercise that was fun. People were laughing, people were shouting. And I took some messages from that exercise to start my facilitation. And I just kept asking questions, getting people to stand up and talk throughout. But if I had come focused on my presentation, I would have gone there, delivered a presentation with brilliant content, but nothing will be remembered. So remember to pause or remember to stop. Take a deep breath, observe before you proceed. Another exercise we do in EQ with stop is taking a moment to do a mind and body scan. And I do it so often. Before I speak, before I enter a class, be it even a webinar, before I meet somebody, before I start, oh, the one time it is compulsory. If I forget any other time, no matter how much I am running late, whether I have missed the time or not, if I'm going to coach somebody, I must do a mind body scan because it just helps me to release all my thoughts, any stress, anything I'm bringing in with me, just push them aside for the moment and be present with my clients and be present with what I want to do. So stop, take a breath, observe what is going on within your body. So when I feel anxious, I may think in my mind, okay, I'm fine. I've hyped myself up, told myself all the positive things. But for me, if I notice that my back here feels tensed, then I know I am still tensed. So it's always important to know yourself, that's self-awareness, and know where you hold emotions. Know how those emotions affect you, and know how to release them before you proceed. And being mindful helps you to release those emotions. So I want to put us in a 2-minute breakout room. And I don't want you to feel you need to share the depth of your heart because we're all strangers here. Feel free to share what makes you comfortable or what you want to. But I want you to think about this. Where in your life now? Is it at work? Is it at home? Is it with a person? Is it with a project? Is it with somebody? Is it with something? Where are you physically present? Like some of you are physically present here, or you're Zoomly present, but you're emotionally absent because you're doing 101 things. It's been a long day and so much. Yeah, if you're driving, you're doing 2 things at the same time. So it can be difficult to have all your attention on this. But I'd like us to just do a 2 minutes. Queenette, can you put people in breakout rooms of 3 each? Let me stop share and see if I can do that myself. No, I can't. Queenette, are you here?
I'm here. Of course, I am here, but I don't think that I have I
Oh,
can't do that
okay.
either. Sound.
Okay, you don't
I'll
have
help me
the,
do that.
all
I don't
right.
have the
I should
Raffle
have,
post, so I'm not
yeah.
sure.
Okay, I should have checked that ahead of time. But anyway, we can still answer the question here ourselves. I'd just like everyone to think, because I think I've talked a lot. We need to um share. Good to see you, Messi Joseph. So can anyone share? You can unmute or share in the chat room. Where are you physically present?
Good evening, everyone.
Good evening.
Okay, all right. Okay, so for me, I'm mostly physically present at work. For one of the things I can say, also emotionally absent is my work actually involves a lot of meetings. So when we have long meetings, I tend to, and I know I have a lot of deliverables I need to, and I know that meeting doesn't really concern me. I switch off. I might be in that meeting, but emotionally, I'm not there again. I've already switched off. I need to start doing other things. So, but most importantly, and I always like to tell people that doing two things at the same time, I always like to use this phrase, it's a scam, especially if you are somebody that do meetings a lot. I tell my team members, I tell a lot of people that, yes, it's good. We all hear the narration that multitasking is good, but there's an extent of what you can actually multitask. All right. So you focus one thing at a time. So I tend to embrace, and I've learned so much a lot tonight. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Physically present. Okay. Then if it's something that you can actually multitask, there are some cases that you can actually multitask. But if not, I tend to switch. If my presence is needed, I'm there. I'm already switch off. I'm not there again emotionally. So that's why I have to. Thank you. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much for sharing. Thank you. And which is true. I found out for myself that I became physically present in church, but emotionally absent. I had to take a step back and ask myself, why? What's going on? I found out that the message wasn't inspiring me. And I thought, so why do I still go to that church? Why not consider that church? I had a long conversation with myself with a pen and paper. And then I decided how I wanted to be physically present and emotionally present in the church. I found my reason for still being in the church and what makes me present there. And what I did not like in the church was not strong enough to make me stop going to the church. But what it did for me was to start attending another church online. So I will do my physical and I'll do my online. Funny enough, funny thing is I love praise, not praise and worship, hymns. Yes, I love the hymns and I love the hymns in the church. I love the people in my church. I love the simplicity. But when it comes to the preaching, gosh, half the time it feels like somebody is trying to pull my tooth. So I'm just absent. And I had to stop and say to myself, this is not right. I'm going with what, sorry, I didn't get your name. I saw it,
Temitope.
Temitope. Going with what Temitope said. Multitasking is a myth. You cannot truly multitask and achieve 100%. And you know what happens to your brain? When there's something you haven't completed and you move on without closing that chapter emotionally and physically to move on to the next, but you're doing a bit of this and you're doing a bit of that, your brain, psychologically, your brain becomes stressed. And it's very difficult to get the best out of both situations. I even found out one day I came across a meditation that said mindful walking. I walk in the morning. Every morning, my walking partner is here. And one day I came across a meditation that said mindful walking. I'm like, what's there? We're walking. I know my route. I just walk. But mindful walking meant I could feel my feet as they stepped on the pavement, how my toes reacted, the things I saw on the way, the breeze against my skin. I've practiced that meditation like 3 times, and I assure you, every time I practice it, it's a 20 minutes of mindful walking. I feel like my dopamine just rises. I feel like I can take up the world. That's what mindfulness does to you. You know, at events we attended earlier this month, the speaker was talking about I've forgotten their name, but it's this clinic in Ikoyi. They use mainly foods and natural things to cure all diseases. And she said they did a test on her and they found out that some chemicals were not in her gut because she eats in front of the television. She doesn't eat mindfully. So she's eating, she's typing, she's doing one thing or the other. So mindfulness or unmindfulness really causes us stress in our body that we're not aware of. I think I spoke about this. To arrive or get to where you're going to, or start the conversation, arrive like your physical, your essence, all of you is there. Notice what is going on. Choose. If you don't arrive, you cannot choose. You will go with whatever is dictated. And it's only when you choose, you can actually connect. So 5 of us can be in a meeting and one person just keeps asking the right questions, just keeps being able to get the opportunities, just keep being able to see the loopholes, because that person is fully connected. Even if you're not understanding what they're saying, you can still be fully connected, asking the right questions. So I like everyone to pick one thing here. This is another practice of mindfulness. I do this when I find myself really stressed and so much going on. I just stop and I'll do this exercise. So I'd like everyone to do this exercise, but choose only one and put in the chat room. So you can either write in the chat room 5 things you can see. Whether you're in your bedroom, sitting room, car, anywhere, kitchen, there are 5 things you can see. You can put that in the chat room. Or you can write 4 things you can feel. I would like to see some responses, please. At least from 4 people or 5 people. And I just want you to pick only one. If it's one, you can choose to write 1 thing you can taste. Or 2 things you can smell. My cook is making a late dinner. So I can smell grilled fish. And I can smell some oil. I don't know what he wants to fry. Or 3 things you can hear. It's raining now. Yes, Asaba can hear the rain. She can hear me and she can hear cars passing. Yes, Queenette says it's raining and she can smell the fragrance of the rain. You know, when you stop and take a pause and smell the rain, people that don't understand won't understand. It's so rejuvenating. Bed, table, water. Joy, I guess those are things you can see. I can see the TV and you can hear me talk. Ifechuku can see her laptop. She can hear the rain. I can hear my son's voice. I can feel the table. Thank you so much for doing that. But this is one of the rituals you can do. When you are feeling that stress, just stop. Oh, Queenette, what are you going to do about those? The dark circles. Why are you looking so closely at the screen? Didn't notice that before. So that is being mindful. Oof. Feiji, baby powder. That baby powder, the smell of baby powder brings back sweet memories of the Gen Zs that are stressing me now and when they were all baby powdered. and smelling nice and so cute. But see what happens when you become mindful. Another thing I do, I didn't put that here, but I just remembered. Oh, Belema is eating granite under her duvet. Isn't that the life? And Comfort can actually see a green book, white light, chairs, and table. Thank you so much for sharing. But this is a very simple practice, but very powerful. When you just need to, imagine your thoughts, everything, too many things going on there, like this dust beams or dust meats that you see, and they're just flying over the place. But if you take the moment to calm down, look away, stop everything you're doing, and just look around the room and just think of 5 green things you can see, or 5 yellow things, or 2 yellow things. Your mind calms down. The neurons that are sparking and going all over the place, they calm down. If you think of what you're tasting, what you're smelling. Thank you so much for sharing. So this is one of the ritual. I'd like to take you back. I think I'm ending now. Queenette, please let me know. I think my time is up. Am I right?
Yes, yes,
Okay.
but we were just enjoying it since you added practices to it. I'm sure some people have questions, but since you added practices to it and we're all involved, I think I go carried away as well. So maybe we have another 10 minutes with you, and then we can wrap this up.
Another how
If
many
that's okay.
minutes?
Another 10 minutes.
10 minutes.
Yes, is that
Okay.
okay?
Yes, that's fine.
Do you need enough
I'll
time? Do you need more?
I'll
10,
use
15?
one.
Is that
Sorry?
10, 15 minutes? Is that okay?
Yes, very fine. Thank you.
Yeah. All
I
right.
would like everybody to take a minute. This is another practice. And this is not, just think about, I don't want you to think too far. There's always time to do that. One of the mindfulness exercises I do personally is a reflection, and I do that on Sundays. I reflect on the week that has gone by, not to beat myself up for what I've achieved or what I haven't achieved, but just to think more about, yeah, the things I didn't do, am I taking them on to the next week or am I putting them off my list? The conversations I had, which ones were, and Comfort, I'll get to you in a minute. Thank you for raising your hand. Which ones are enduring? Which ones were nourishing? Which ones was I present or not present? And what am I going to do about that? So I use that time to reflect, right, for my week. But for purpose of today's exercise, I would like you, if you have a pen and paper, journal this for yourself. You don't have to write a full text or anything. You can just list them out. If you think of the beginning of this week, which was Sunday, until today, what are 1 or 2 things that deserve your attention or more of your attention? Is it a particular child? Is it all your children? Is it your spouse? Is it your staff? Is it your domestic? Sometimes if they are acting up, they just need your presence. They just need to know that you appreciate them or something. So what deserves more of your attention? Just look at this last 3 or 4 days. What are you neglecting? And what are you watering? Are you watering the seeds or are you watering the weeds? So I'll take Comfort's question while everyone is journaling. I know we shouldn't be multitasking, but our time is gone. Yes, Comfort. You can unmute.
Okay, thank you so much for this exciting teaching. Please, I want to ask a question. My question is that I have I have a set of twins, a boy and a girl, as they're 11. Both of them are 11. They'll be 12 by November, and I have a 9 that'll be 10 by December. I am not by profession. I'm a critical care nurse, and sometimes I do night shifts. Like presently, I'm at work, but I do night shifts. Presently, I'm at work. I'll be closing tomorrow morning. So I discovered that whenever I'm at home, when I wake them up to bathe, it's actually stressed me a lot. When I wake them up to bathe, dress up, do a lot of things, they'll be sleeping with their toothpaste, their toothbrush on their hand. They'll go and be someone will sit in the bedroom and be sleeping, go back and lie down on the bed, go back to their room and lock the door. It's I'll keep shouting very early in the morning. I'm screaming. I'm worked up. I'm tired. I'm shouting before I get them dressed up. In fact, this morning, by the time we're stepping out of the house to drive them to school, I was just saying, Jesus, help me, help me, help me. I was already tired. I've not gotten to work. I was tired already. So by the time I get to work, I say, let me check my blood pressure first. By the time I checked my blood pressure, it was very high. Both systolic and diastolic were very high. I said, God help me. I quickly took um, an antihypertensive quickly and we know the pain and just to calm myself down, just to calm it down. And it's not just once, but I noticed that like tonight I'm at work very early in the morning before 7 a.m. Call me with the phones at home asking me, Mommy, we are set for school. Can we start going? I'm shocked. I'm amazed because they'll wake up, they'll dress up, they'll beat themselves, they'll keep themselves up. I read my my head is like she has played with me for over 6 years and she's already a daughter. By the time she wakes up, she has cooked, she has done everything, and they are already set for school. I'll practically be begging them to wait for the driver to come and drop them. They'll say no, they want to trek to school. I say no, don't trek. They'll say no, they want to trek to school. I say because of security, don't trek. Let me call the driver to come and drop you. They'll say no. Sometimes they will not even wait for the driver. They'll hold themselves and they'll start going to the school because the school is not too far from the house, but I usually drop them. I deliberately drop them and pick them up because it helps us to bond and it gives us another opportunity to talk with them while we drive. How was school? What happened? And since it's only me and them in the car, and it's like that. My spouse does not stay with us. He's far away. He only comes visit and go. So it's a lot and it gets me work. This is not just once, just twice, and it's giving me concern. Sorry for
Are you,
bugging you.
no, no, no,
I'm
no, it's
sorry
not
for
important at
bugging
all. And you
you.
have to, I see Mrs. Johnson smiling because she knows, I'm sure she remembers those experiences of looking for one socks and looking for homework and putting
Yes,
everybody
ma.
together.
Yes, ma. Yes, ma. Yes, ma.
So most mothers at one point or the other um, go through this. But what I hear you say is when you are around, they don't do things when they're supposed to do it. They don't follow instructions and all that. But when you're not around, they do these things for themselves.
Yes. So I said, why can't they replicate it when I'm at home so that I'll be at peace?
Yeah. But you know your children, you know what is going on. So what do you think is causing that?
Actually, I don't know. That's why I'm asking the question.
All right. I think but it's something you need to sit down and think of.
Okay.
and probably think of other ways you can. You said they are 9. The youngest is 9, right?
Yes.
So
And a
have
set of
you,
twins.
and a
They are
set of
11.
twins. Oh, wow. Well done.
Thank you, ma.
Have you actually had a conversation with them about this? A 9-year-old can hold that conversation.
No, I've not tried it, ma.
Yeah. I think it's family meetings are very important. And there's no time to delve into it and go the coaching route. So I'm just going to make some suggestions
Okay, ma.
that worked with me. Consequences, um, consequences. And I see that your children, because when you're not around, they get up early, they get ready, they want to take themselves to school. So they are already intrinsically motivated to do things for themselves and get themselves to school. So you need to maybe pay a bit more attention. You need to now be mindful. The next time you are home, I know time is going, but you need to give it your attention to observe what is going on when you are around. And if it's possible, maybe
Let me say, I don't know if it's just me. Coach Laborie, we can't hear you, Madam. Comfort, please could you mute yourself, please? Thank you. Hello, everyone. Can you hear me, or is it just
we can hear
I
you.
can hear you.
Okay, so I think Coach Laborie, I think she maybe the next work kicked her out. If she comes in, we could just continue so she can round up. But I'm sure we've all had an amazing time listening to what she has to say. We have learned a lot. I have learned a lot. I have my notes here on my phone. I was jotting down some things. I know we don't have enough time to take all of the questions that we need to take. So it would be great if we drop the questions on the group, and then when she has the time, she can send a voice note, and then she can, answer the questions, and everyone can learn from it. If you have any questions, please just ask. I think when we ask more, we learn more. So, okay, Coach Laborie, you're back. Okay, thank you.
Yes, I'm sorry. I have 2 networks and one threw me out. So I was just answering to Comfort that you need to apply this method of getting there, just pause, observe what is going on, and don't rush to help because they can do it themselves. One, have a meeting about it. They're big enough and old enough to be part of a conversation and to take responsibility for their part in this. So sometimes children are acting out because they're looking for attention and they just need more of you. So you need to have that meeting with them too. But before you have the meeting, just observe what is going on. Try not to rush in to help. Try not to get angry or feel stressed. Just be calm, be a fly on the wall. It may take you 2 or 3 attempts for you to see actually what is going on. And then after that pause, and as they're doing what they're doing or not doing what they're doing, you try and have a conversation or just keep reminding them it's 20 minutes time to go to school. Yes, Lola said sometimes they intentionally play on our psychology. And guess what? They don't do it with their fathers. Why do they do it only with us? The women. So we need to catch up with them and what they're getting on, how they are playing with our emotions. So, Comfort, I would like you to actually try this out, have a conversation, observe, and then let me know how it works. I tell you that at that conversation, be a coach. Don't tell them anything. Ask questions. Ask clarifying questions. Ask open-ended questions. And then support them. I'm sure in your work, in your team, you have new interns or intakes, and you have to support them to be able to grow into who they want to be. Okay. So I'm using my phone now, so I don't have my presentation. I see Queenette has written that children observe us and they can push your buttons. If you allow it, they will continue. Use the tool of consequences. Yeah. There are consequences for every action. So when my last was growing up, there really wasn't, it wasn't the time where we gave children phones or where they had laptops. It was television, even though we had laptops, but it wasn't the time where children now have access to computers and laptops. So the television time was divided based on, yeah, it was actually, she used to like to stay late in school and not complete her work. So it was based on that. And over time, it reduced because of the consequences. So, Comfort, I'd like you to share with me. I mean, my contacts are available in the group. And then mindfulness has a ripple effect on Comfort is going to see that ripple effect on her children, on her marriage, on your marriage, on your parenting style, on leadership, on your health. Because when you're not mindful of emotions going around with you, they get stuck in your body. And I think in October, we do emotional detox to remove all the emotions we've stored in our body or we're carrying with us and are not helpful. You know, mindfulness changes the way we make decisions, how we make decisions. It affects our productivity and our relationships. So I'm going to stop. No. One action point for everybody. Tomorrow, just put it in the chat room. Tomorrow, what are you going to give your attention to? Just put it in the chat room. I would write mine too. My family, myself. That's great. Start with you. Remember that you become what you give your attention to. What you focus on is what magnifies. Whether you focus on your mind and what you're cultivating in your mind that is what will magnify. That would magnify your mindfulness. If you focus on all the distractions, that is what will magnify in your life. So just see your mind as your garden. As I said before, your thoughts are your seeds, and you can grow flowers or you can grow weeds. So thank you. I'll stop there for now. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, Coach Lavery. Thank you so much. I hope you all can hear me. This was really, really insightful and very, very powerful. Thank you so much. I mean, I encourage us to ask questions. You can never stop learning. We learn every day, and this is so beautiful. I would like all of us, I know that it's already late, to just put a one-liner of something that we learned today on the group, just to get everybody's attention so other people can learn, right? So anything that stood out to you today during the course of this teaching, just write it in the major group chat so people can see it. Like she said, what you give your attention to, you will become. What you give your attention to, you will become. And yes, we know that we always say that we are multitaskers, but no, it is one thing at a time so that you can be present. One thing that stood out to me was the fact that she said, what is the cost of missing out? And because you can never really quantify what you have missed in that moment, you ought to be present at every time, especially when you're with the people that you love. And that also can be translated to everything that you do. So thank you so much, man. Thank you so much. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, Temitope. Thank you, Lola. Thank you, Ife. Yes, Joy will stay mindful and minimize double tasking, staying present. Thank you, Sarah. Thank you, Queenette, for moderating. Good night, everybody.
Thank you so much.
Good night, Coach Levi.
Bye for now.